Go ahead. All right. Welcome to the April 14th, 2025 IMU Board of Trustees of IMU. Yeah, okay. Call to order.
Celebrate.
Present.
White. Present. Smith.
Present.
Rauska.
Yes.
Voice. Thank you.
All right. We'll open up to public comment. Anyone wishing to speak should come to the lectern and state your name and address for the record. No one? All right. Need a first and second motion to approve the consent agenda motions.
So moved.
Second.
You guys are having a hard time already.
Approval of claims. Approval of minutes of the prior meetings. February 2025 financial report. Doug and
Sure.
Chris.
Quickly, it's, as you all know, this report's for the end of February, which is 8 months, which is 2/3 of the year. But what's really unique is, and I talked to Chris about this, but for example, the first line item, you compare the actual year-to-date, this is for water, to the budget, and it's 60%. Now, if I were in a normal, I know this is seasonal from the standpoint we go through winter or whatever the situation is, so there's lots of reasons that you can have those differences. But if you were to look at October last year compared to this year, down 10 million gallons, you know, it's just a unique situation, but it is what it is. And supposedly Indianola is growing ever so slightly, but it's grown a little bit.
Yeah.
So for 8 months, the gallonage is down 1%. You know, it's just unique things that you run into, and it makes it kind of a challenge for Chris to operate the place, but he's got his arms around it. So anyway, just I see really nothing, just things like that where, you know, like you go to electric and it's at 71% of revenues, which is, you know, water's at 60%.
Yeah.
All compared to budget, and as Chris tells me, it can fluctuate just based on the weather and the season and whatever. But really, my comment, that's my comments. I don't see anything unique. Yeah, it's unique.
Thanks, Doug.
Thank you. Thanks.
I do have one question, Mike, concerning diesel. And you probably told us this, but again, how many gallons did we buy and what was our price?
Oh, man. What did we end up paying? It was $229, $230?
Okay.
Something like that.
Around the 230.
$230, I think, is what we paid. And we bought 7 loads, and each load held roughly 7,500 gallons.
Okay. Yep.
Pay app number 2 for the 69 kV line relay replacement project. Pay app number 3 underground or downtown underground conversion project west alley premise wiring. Discussion. Roll call.
Celebrate.
Yes.
White. Yes. Smith.
Yes.
Rauska.
Yes.
Voice.
Yes.
Thank you.
Electric utility informational items.
Yeah, so bids are due for the next section of the downtown square for the north side on Wednesday. So we'll have those and we'll bring those back to the next meeting on the 28th. And then our construction season, we're just going all over, trying to stay ahead of everything.
How's that working for you?
It is what it is. You just take it one day at a time.
I feel like there's just dust flying everywhere.
It's really busy. We're heavily involved out north of town around the Quick Star in the Summercrest area and then square projects. And
How's that been going? Has it been reasonably smooth or?
on the square project?
No, the north project.
The north project? Yeah, I mean, the guys we just bored last week, it's the biggest bore we've ever done. As a crew, we bored underneath all 4 lanes.
Oh, wow.
Which was a little over 300 foot and had to back ream 14 inches, pull back 6 2-inch conduits with that. And it was a 2-day bore by the time we had to go through the process type of thing, but it all worked out well, and pipes underneath and we're tying into
Wow.
it, so, yeah,
That's impressive.
yeah. So, but yeah, it's going well, it's busy, busy out there.
There's a
for
lot
sure.
of people out there.
It is, it's, yeah, we had, you know, they've been really good about coordinating, you know, that it's kind of your little areas type of deal, and, yeah.
If we would have had to have gone out for bid for something like that, I don't want to pin you down, but what might something like that have ran?
It's been so long since I've bid it. Kurt might have a better idea, but he's on more of a single package, where this is a lot larger package, but I mean, I'm gonna guess this is $35 a foot, probably, at least, to have it bored in.
Times-
So we just pay for
Probably-
our equipment.
I bet,
Times
I wouldn't surprise
300
me if it was
plus
$10,000-$12,000 to have that board put in. That's all I got.
Okay. Water utility action items, need a simple motion for authorization for Warren Water District to serve a customer within their territory upon proper notice to IMU, since the customer is within 2 miles of the IMU territory located at 16832 Kendall Trail.
So move.
Second.
Okay. Voice vote?
Ayes?
Aye.
Nays? Thank you.
All right. Need a first and second motion to approve the resolution setting public hearing and letting for East Third Ave Water Main Improvements Project. Motions?
So moved.
Second.
Discussion?
I don't know, I think this was, it was in the budget already. It was kind of one of those projects that we just had worked on. Depending on where dollars worked in the budget, it was able to fit in there, so we went ahead for it. Probably unlikely it'll hit this fiscal year, but in the specs, I think it says it has to be done by October 30th or 31st, so hopefully we can catch a contractor that's looking for a little work and get it in, but if not, it's the project out there. So it's just a little short one, block chunk of main, but at least we're getting a main replaced this year, so.
Roll call?
Voice.
Yes.
Selgrave?
Yes.
White? Yes. Smith?
Yes.
Roscoe?
Yes.
Thank you.
Need a first and second motion to approve the resolution authorizing line tower recoding project. Motions?
So moved. Second.
Discussion?
How often do we do that? I almost feel like we just did this. I mean, I could be very wrong.
We redid the clear cones and stuff inside the plant 7-8 years ago.
Oh, it's been that long ago? Okay.
But this tower that we're talking about actually sits on top of the roof at the plant and hasn't been touched since built, so 27 years ago.
Oh, that must have been something else that we
We did a lot of recode work on the water towers.
Yeah, but I thought it was is there another line silo there, or am I
Are you remembering the authorization for the bid out of the engineering last fall? Because that was in there.
I don't think so. But that's all right. So it's been a long time.
Yeah, so it's
That's
hasn't
all right.
been touched since.
I was just curious more than anything.
Yep.
And Justin, you had this in your budget too, right?
Yes.
Capital budget.
Yep.
Roll call?
Roscoe?
Yes.
Voice?
Yes.
Selgrave?
Yes.
White? Yes. Smith?
Yes.
Thank you.
All right. Water utility informational items.
Yeah, like Mike said, just busy construction season. We were able to get 3 of the 4 concrete pourbacks done last week. Hopefully here in the next week we'll get the last one done. Trying to focus on getting our parkings prepped and seeded. Trying to get a lot of the maintenance projects out of the way, as May we'll be flushing hydrants, and that takes the whole month of May, and that's with the stuff breaking that we'll fix. So trying to get all those projects out of the way so we can just focus on flushing. The contractor is back in town this week to finish the last 2 filters. Hopefully everything goes right. They'll be out late Wednesday, early Thursday, so get that project done, and like I said, just busy doing construction work and working with contractors.
When we flush the hydrants, do we ever have any issues, replacements that need to be done? And if so, how many do we keep in stock? I think maybe 2 or 3, right?
We have at least 3 on hand fire hydrants. Again, that goes down to, though, we can't stock every style. We have the most common, but.
Well, we have most of the failures are not the entire hydrant. Like, we do have 2 or 3 of the entire hydrants just in case, but most of the time the stuff that breaks various components that we have other stock of.
And most times we may get a hydrant or 2 that needs, like Chris said, greased or turns hard or whatever. Most of our things are main breaks that happen through main flush or hydrant flushing.
I have a question, and it may not be the time to talk about it here, but politically, there's been a lot of conversation about fluoride in water. And so, are there things that we need to do education-wise or preparation-wise? I know there's no sort of direction at this point, but is there something that we should try to get ahead of? Or is it something that we just kind of hang in and respond to? I don't know if you've given it any thought.
I want them to answer, but
Yeah.
just as a comment, the one thing that I found valuable to learn is that we don't add any fluoride. It's naturally occurring in the water that we pull from the Jordan Aquifer, so.
So again, it might be
Getting
an education.
that information out, I
Right.
think would be useful.
Right.
And I have, it came out last week or early the week before, AWW sent it out, and it was kind of just, there's so much in the air right now, and I don't remember when HHS was meeting and maybe the CDC to start talking about some of this stuff. I do know there was a big push with Utah going to, or banning fluoride altogether now.
Even when it's a natural cause.
So that's a big talk, is how they're going to
Respond.
set their limits. Like, I mean, like, yeah, for us it's natural, so I mean, to treat fluoride it's gonna be a huge.
And I didn't expect for us to come to any conclusion. When I was listening to it, I was like, that could be a big topic. And I wasn't sure how we would respond.
I've had a few calls since we do have it on our flyer, since we have to do it. And some of the biggest questions is how long has a fluoride been like this? And it's been like this for
I know.
forever. And so I always say to the people that I have talked to is we're still within limits. There's no, at this time, health concerns. It's been like this forever. The max contaminant level that you can have for fluoride is 4.0, and we average right there at that 2.1, 2.2. So the only reason we have to put it out there is because we're over the secondary, which is 2.
Yeah. And again, I don't expect that any sort of, you've got to go do something. It's just more, are we thinking about it?
Yeah, and I'll send out the letter that AWWA said that just kind of has from the dental side of it and then on the health side of it.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Yeah, from just to kind of add on that, I mean, we're right now we're meeting all the regulatory requirements, and so there's not a immediate concern. A lot of what we're discussing is, what could happen, or, there's been talk, CDC recommending some lowering stuff. And that will be a big process. I mean, ultimately, that's an entire RO system, and that will be huge when it does happen.
Well, and those
Right now
decisions won't happen overnight.
Yeah, is this a 10-year process? Probably. I don't think by the time it filters down through the state regulatories and then they set deadlines and everything else. I mean, we started getting lead out of pipes in 1982, and we're now to the point of giving people 10-year notice. So, timelines could vary. It could get rushed through. It also could be, lifetimes from now. So.
It just might be something to think about with education and one of our flyer updates. If you guys have a water update, to include it there. I wouldn't do anything special, but.
Yeah, absolutely.
Communications, utility, informational items.
Yeah, I'll just echo Mike and Justin. We're busy with construction stuff, so everything seems to be moving very, very quick now. So good news is most of the winter temps are done. We're just waiting on Alberto to get the last 2 or 3 in. So, but that list is pretty much finished. So that's good. We've also spent a lot of time here in the last couple of weeks getting everything spliced up down south on that new NOFA 7 section. Sent out 40 letters for hookups late last week, and we've got 8 or 9 on the site survey schedule already, so getting pretty good take rate.
Are those mostly west of the highway?
Yes, everything west right now. Well, I'll take that back. We did cross the highway. We're over there on Nevin Trail as well on the east side. So, but other than that, everything's on the west side of the highway.
Somebody asked me on the east side.
Yep. Next phase down on McGregor. So we'll go get that here after July 1st. That's our contract. So yeah. Okay.
Combined electric, water, and communication action items. Need a first and second motion to approve the resolution approving the tentative union contracts between Indianola Municipal Water and Electric Utilities and the Construction and Public Employees LIUNA Local 177. Motions.
Second.
Discussion.
All right, this contract was approved by the union on Tuesday, I believe. It follows a lot of the discussion we've had previously. I think the highlights here are it sets our COLA raises for the next, it's a 5-year contract. It sets the COLA raises at the CPIU Midwest for the year ending the preceding December. So like next January, it'll be the year ending in December. So we'll have all of our information for budgets. It sets our new union scales and addresses some of the other, smaller concerns of inflationary pressures on work equipment and any of the negotiated terms surrounding holidays that we've previously addressed.
Any surprises?
Nope, I think as we went through the process, everything the union asked for was expected or not surprising. Where we settled wasn't surprising. All in all, I think everyone worked together and we came up with a great resolution.
So longevity pay is not a thing anymore? I noticed that was all struck out of the, or is that someplace else where it got stuck back in?
It's accomplished a different way.
Okay.
So where we had currently our, for instance, like the electric brackets were only four brackets, and then once you get to the 5th year, then you started getting into longevity pay. Our current scale is actually a 15-year scale, which accomplishes the same thing in a different way. So the longevity pay was redundant at that point.
5 weeks vacation. Wow. If we ever do more than that, we're nuts.
I thought you were gonna apply for a job.
I don't think they take me.
Nothing? No one over there?
Everyone's encouraged to apply,
All right. Any other comments? Roll call.
Selgrave.
Yes.
White. Yes. Smith.
Yes.
Rosga.
Yes.
Voice.
Yes.
Thank you.
Combined electric, water, and communications information.
Before we move on, can I ask a question? So we've approved this for IMU. The city has not yet. Can you help clarify that for me? Just, they have yet to do this same practice?
Yeah, they're in the midst of this. I don't know if they've gone through the voting process. They're a couple weeks behind us, and I know last time I talked with Doug, they were close to TA on some items. That may be
What's TA?
I guess my
tentative agreement.
question is do you think that they'll come to a radically different outcome?
I don't think this'll, just given the priorities of the city union, there's certainly some similar stuff similar items like, you know, the holidays, the work equipment, you know, the uniform allowance, all accomplished in a similar manner. You know, where I don't know that they're hammered down yet, you know, is on the pay. But given our approach was surrounding a salary study, there's not a whole lot, you know, that you can point to directly between number to number that are actually comparable.
The only reason I ask is it's just, in the past, we've had these conversations, the city's doing this, do we wanna do that? And it feels like we kind of gotten into this game, and I'm hoping we can avoid that going forward, that we actually have a plan, and what they come up wouldn't necessarily derail our plan.
I think for the foreseeable, certainly for the next 5 years, you know, we've agreed both, you know, through this vote and through, you know, the union's agreement that the CPIU metric is fair. I think that's what the city bases a lot of their, you know, decisions around. So in that respect, we've kind of agreed on parity there. Now, you know, whether or not they choose to do something different and rather do 3% across the board or something like, you know, we've done that probably will average to 3 years, but it's a little different approach. I don't know that. But given we've done a salary study and I think, you know, this puts all of our positions, or specifically this one, all of our union positions at the appropriate levels. I don't know that I see any of that kind of tit for tat necessary.
Okay.
We're committing to some good numbers. I think we were fair to the employees, and we're all kind of on the unexpected ride of you know, CPIU, what inflation does. You know, your guess is as good as mine. But we're both committing to that as a fair metric to move salary in the future. So
Thank you, appreciate that.
yeah.
Any other combined electric, water, and communication informational items?
Yeah, it's been a busy week. And, you know, I think Mike and I went out and took a look at all the projects that are underway, and you know, I think he's kind of underselling himself. That bore under the highway was very impressive to watch. You know, I think lots of commending those guys. We've
Did
done
we get video of that bike? That'd be the kind of thing to post online and let people see. That would get some
There's not much
likes.
to see.
It's unless you know what's going on and how cool it is, it's tough to kind of walk through. You know, so that down to, I know we've got some other crews that we're working on some, you know, some of the internal stuff, taking down some of the cooling towers. That was a great project to see, you know, down in the fiber bullpen, some of those old cooling towers. One of them's completely down and re-cemented over. And I knew it would open things up, but it kind of was shocking to see the space and availability there and the openness. You know, again, it probably is not a glorious project, but it was something we've needed to do, and that was great to see. I know our fiber guys are busy installing. You know, across the board for everyone, guys, keep up the good work. That was, we certainly have a lot going on, and it's great to see everyone moving on in a cohesive manner.
So can I ask a question about our LIHEAP program? I can't remember in April when that turns off. Is that,
April 1st.
so we are done with that? And did we have many people request funds from the plan project?
We ended up, out of the project share, we ended up doing, I think, 3 or 4 customers.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So does that mean we have dollars carried over into next season?
We do have dollars, yeah. But,
And you guys might have talked about this at the last meeting, but LIHEAP they've lost their funding, haven't they?
and they're still giving out funding, so.
There was a lot of conversation in the government
It's
about
changed.
that.
They've laid off a lot of the program administrators, at least at the federal level. So I think, you know, the future's more uncertain, but the stuff that they, at least for this year, that they committed was coming through. I know we had lots of, I'm gonna say these wrong, they had more crisis funds than they had available in the past, but maybe lesser of the, I don't know what they call the regular funds. You know, the typical LIHEAP funds, but they were able to supplement those with crisis funds, you know, at a level more than prior
Yeah,
years.
they're still approving my heat funds till the end of April, so they can still do that. And then, if they want, they can do crisis funds when they're turned off. But if they're not turned off yet, they can help them with my heat funds.
Okay.
But that's only
That's
until the end of
station.
April.
Okay.
Mhm.
And then I don't know if you saw the 100 women, the group this time was Relift, so they may be able to help.
We've had some help from Relift too, yep. Mhm. Yeah.
Any other business?
Are we prepared or in a position to talk at all about the ISU extension ground, or is that?
I can talk to you one-on-one,
Okay.
or you guys one-on-one after the meeting, kind of let you know where we're at.
All right. Need a simple motion to adjourn? Motions?
So moved.
Second.
Voice vote?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, guys.